Hello, scruff tarts and all you other weird things online. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And we're gonna return to the topic of a river war at Kherson, uh, because rumors has surfaced over on what's it called, Blue Sky, that Russia might be up to some shenanigans and might be pulling a Uno reverse card on Ukraine around the river Dnipro. And as we can see here on Blue Sky, we have War Translated that writes on the 4th of December, that would be today. Russia may be preparing a large scale offensive on Kherson ahead of Trump's inauguration. Russia has already prepared 300 boats to cross the Dnipro River, according to the head of the Kherson Regional Military Administration. What the hell, right? Now, I've been keeping an eye on the boats and assault crafts that Ukraine has gathered over this year, and they have a substantial amphibious force capable of launching an assault across the Dnipro or coming across the Bay Area at Kherson to try and reach the occupied areas. And they have more than 200 of those craft. And here we now have Russia playing the Uno reverse and throwing into the mix 300 boats that they may use to make their own amphibious landing to try and push in towards the city of Kherson or the outskirts of it. Insanity. What will happen? Will this happen during the winter? Now in December and January before Trump goes into office? What the hell is going on? So here we have the Kherson area, and south of the river, we know this is Russian controlled or Russian occupied territory. Ukraine is holding on to the north. And as you zoom in, you can see here, Russia, of course, blew up the dam in 2023, and that flooded the entire area downstream here after Kakhovka, and that allowed Russia to move reinforcements over to the front line up here at Zaporizhia and all that stuff. So this is what the Dnipro looks now. I mean, this is, I can't, if I zoom into, yeah, this is an old image, but as we zoom out, you can see this is what it looks like in reality at the moment. But after Kakhovka here, we have the river looking like this. And so this is where we potentially will have a Russian assault somewhere. And if that is the case, Russia will face the same problems that Ukraine does. All the bridges are blown up. This bridge is blown up, and this bridge is blown up. And you can get an infantry across quickly enough with boats. But the problem is the enemy will have armored vehicles, and you need your own armored vehicles to come across the river to start proper operations. You need to move around and not having to rely on your own feet to move around and gain territory. So that means you need a port, and Ukraine wanted Hola Prishtan. As if we zoom in, you can see here you have ocean-going vessels in town, and they have a refiner or whatever it is here. You can dock more ships. So if you take a look at, let's see here if I can show you on this map here. Here we have ISW. You can see here Hola Prishtan. You can see this is where Ukraine pushed down in 2023. They also tried to push out here. Was it earlier this year? I don't remember when this took place. But they have, this is primarily where they really wanted to push. We all remember the fight over here at Krinky, but in order to properly establish a presence and bring in those ships that you really need to support operations south of the river, they needed a port, and that would be Hola Prishtan. And I mean, it's quite obvious here, as you can see, how Ukraine tried to push down this way to reach that town. And they also, obviously, in order to make use of Holopristan, you need to control the delta so you can bring in the ships. So the delta and Holopristan was the main objective when Ukraine needed to cross the river. And likewise, Russia needs something similar if they are to cross the river and begin operations on the northern end here of the river. And where would that be? I don't know. Here we don't have anything like that here at Stanislav. Not sure. Here maybe this seems maybe something that the Russians can utilize to bring in larger vessels to unload vehicles and supplies and ammunition and stuff like that. You need a port to be able to conduct operations here. So if they have 300 assault craft and transports that can bring over Marines, they still need the largest ships to bring over the armor. And so I'm not sure where that might be. I mean, if we go up this river, I mean, you're gonna go far up the river before you find ports you can utilize. I mean, take a look at this industrial port here. This is a gold mine. This here, Korabelny district is what Russia really wants if they want to bring in all the armor and artillery they need. But I don't know where. I don't think there is any suitable location. Maybe nah. They need somewhere where they can properly support the Marines that are crossing, and that would be here then at Kissomys. Yeah. That's Kissomys. Sounds weird in Swedish. Let's put it that way. That might be their objective then. Again, controlling the delta to be able to bring in ships. But it's still dangerous. Then they have to push past here, and then Ukraine can use, Swedish RBS-17 missiles, anti-ship missiles, to just pick off troop transports coming in. So maybe they will launch amphibious assaults towards Stanislav, Shiroka Balka, Sofika, and Kissomys. It's Kissomys. It's funny. To control the shorelines up here. And then that will allow them to bring in their ships to take Kissomys and unload the armor. But then they're going to be... the Ukrainian Air Force and drones will be able to fly in and hunt down large ocean-going vessels here in the Dnipro Gulf. What the hell, Russia? What will you try and do? Can you... it's too wide for pontoon bridges. Can they repair the Antonov Bridge? Or is this railroad? This one, if I'm not mistaken, this is a railroad bridge. I think this is... it's just like these three foundations here are the only things still standing of this bridge. This is completely blown to hell. And this one has fallen apart at places, if I'm not mistaken. The Antonov Bridge. So if Russia wants to do this, how the hell will they do they intend to support those troops? Are they going to use BMPs to swim across the delta or the river? Is that the plan? Or can they make it across here at the dam? This is going to be interesting. If there's some truth to this, it's going to be interesting. We saw what happened up at Kupiansk, where they got across the Oskil River. They held for a couple of days. They couldn't bring enough troops over, and Ukraine smacked them over the head and pushed them out. So, it's going to be somewhat similar here, unless you can bring over armor to support the frontline action, for instance at Kherson or Stanislav, if they're trying to hold this shoreline here to allow larger ships to come in. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's an interesting rumor, let's put it that way. Son of a... Yes, yes, as I hit play, I started coughing. God damn it. Sorry for that. Anyway, so rumors has it that Russia has gathered some 300 boats, and they, at the start of the year when Ukraine was starting to build their amphibious force, and we received news about that, Russia reinstated the Dnipro fleet, and that is a riverine force with patrol craft and assault boats and what have you. And the Soviets relied on it in World War II, and it has now been reinstated. And probably with the purpose initially to combat these boats, the Ukrainian amphibious force, but now maybe they will use them to launch their own assault. But let's take a look at what Ukraine has gathered so far in the year. And a couple of months ago, this was accurate, this frame here, where we had Australia, the UK, the Netherlands, Finland, the United States, and Sweden providing a large number of patrol craft, assault craft, and high-speed transports. And we have so far, at least from the Netherlands, 3 combat mode 90, 22 high-speed transports. Sweden has, this is old, Sweden has now provided 16 in total combat boat 90, along with 20 high-speed transports. The UK has provided 110 boats of various types that include these offshore raiding craft, also known as ORC. Steel Front, this is a Ukrainian civilian effort. They have bought 3 combat boat 90 and provided it to the Ukrainian Navy. And we have from Finland a minimum 5 USCO assault craft. We've seen propaganda videos that includes these assault craft. We also know that the Finnish boats that has been provided to Ukraine, they all in all require a crew of 50, and these 50 Ukrainians were trained in Romania on how to handle these Finnish boats. And as we can see here, an USCO requires a crew of 2, but with gunners, could that mean 4 crew per USCO? So roughly maybe 10 or 12 USCO all in all, who knows? So that leaves us with 173 confirmed various boats, 168 plus the 5 confirmed USCO. And at the time I made this is like 4 or 5 months old now, 16 combat boat 90, but that should be 22 with the added 6 combat boat 90 that Sweden has provided, 16 in total, 22 all in all. And on top of that, we have an unknown number of boats from Australia. Those boats have begun to drop in from Australia, and also the US. And on top of that, we also have Ukrainian vessels and other boats already in service. We're looking at well beyond 200 transports, assault crafts, and patrol boats in the Ukrainian amphibious corps, let's put it that, I'll call it that, the amphibious corps, the Marine Corps. And now, a couple of weeks ago, Denmark decided to join in as well. Denmark has provided an unknown number of combat boat 90. So another 3, another 5, 10, unclear, but we have 22 confirmed combat boat 90 plus the combat boat 90 that will be delivered by Denmark. So all in all, we are looking at a very capable amphibious force, and of course the combat boat 90, we could be looking at as many as 30 combat boat 90 in the service of the Ukrainians, and this is an assault craft that is unparalleled in the world. The Finns have their own version, very similar to the combat boat 90, also very capable. I think the Finns and the Swedes, they have the best assault craft for dropping off Marines on a shoreline in the world. Absolutely spectacular, these vessels. And Ukraine now has maybe as many as 30 of these. These are the ones we're talking about. Combat boat 90. As you can see, troops are disembarking at the front. This ship can, or this boat can, travel at top speed and come to a full stop in 2 boat lengths. I mean, it's a crash stop. And it, just like the Viking longships of old, it can go straight up to the shoreline and allow troops to jump off onto dry land without risk of getting caught on rocks or shallows or what have you. Very capable. Armed with 50 cal machine guns, you can mount the miniguns on it. You can mount anti-ship missiles on it. You can drop off mines with it. This is a beast. This is a beast designed to attack fortified shorelines and drop off Marines that will charge the enemy and engage them at point blank range. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. I mean, maybe Russia will launch an amphibious assault across the Dnipro or that bay area. Now, right smack in the winter, they have 300 boats, and they maybe will try and do it before Trump gets into office to take territory north of the river and give them a good position to negotiate if Trump forces everyone to sit down at a table. And but I mean, will they be able to do it? Like I said, they need an intact bridge or a good enough port to bring in reinforcements. Can they pull that off? And especially with Ukraine having a very capable amphibious force of their own that can conduct raids and can strike at these ships and boats at sea and can counter Russian maneuvers along the Dnipro. Well, we'll see. We're definitely going to keep an eye on this, and we have to be ready for it. Ukraine has to be ready for this. And, well, with the amount of boats and assault craft they have, I think Ukraine stands a chance of countering any Russian attempts to cross the Dnipro. As always, go po march, Ukraine. Give them hell.